Love this podcast? Support this show through the supporter feature from Acast. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
Show. You know what it is. It's in the title. We're going to listen to it. I'm going to react. And you're going to sit there and like it. You hear me? Thanks to Jay Beatty and crew for the intro music. And to my web guy for that stinger at the beginning for Trew.Tube. Visit Trew.Tube. Check it out. This is my recording. I have a brand new YouTube channel. I put it up there. This is not a public recording. Oh, it's public. It's not public on my platforms yet. Laura Yip, Councillor Yip of the Niagara region, representing St. Catharines, was on with the Tom McConnell Show on 610 CKTB. 905-688-2582. Dial it right down the middle. 905-688-2582. That's CKTB. Also, text us at 61010. Going back into my role. I used to have a show on 610 CKTB. For those that didn't know and are seeing me for the first time, welcome. Twitter, Twitch, DLive, YouTube, Facebook, and YouTube. I was on 610 CKTB when I was a regular caller to Tom McConnell's show after one of the elections. I got to be pretty friendly with most of the media types because it's important when you're running for an election to get your word out. Calvin's last name is going away from me. He was there for a while. Matthew Van Dodgen was over at the Standard for a while. Calvin Reid was at the Standard. He was the political reporter. He does have a political degree, I think, from Queen's. In politics. He was always covered me fairly. Of course, I give him a hard time when I didn't get the proper, accolades or whatever, or he got something wrong, which wasn't very often. Grant LaFleche is over at the Standard now. For whatever reason, these people I had friendships with, including Tom McConnell, who I consider a conservative, but kind of rolls with the punches. He's a big media guy, right? When you work for Bell, you gotta toe Bell's line or you're gone. And he's got a pretty good job over there and does a fairly good job. I mean, he's regressed in the last few years with the verbal tics, which you're going to hear. I know, and right, and all that kind of thing. Verbal tics drive me crazy, and Tommy's better than that. And, I've never criticized him personally, just, what he does on there. So anyway, he's given time to Laura Yip to come out and tell us her version of the harassment issue. Now, the local media is taking this up again. I kind of provoked it, I think, feeling like I may be a candidate in the next federal election. So, guess who I'm going to be warring with I mean, warring. It's a bad analogy, I get it. The left, the radical left. Now, what we forget, what you probably don't know already, this is kind of like a cab drive. I drive around, but I come back to the point. What we forget is most people are moderate middle. The silent majority are in the middle. Whether you're conservative, libertarian, or left, liberal, 95% plus of us are in the fat part of the bell curve where we agree on most things. For instance, if you had somebody that was completely pro-choice, and you could probably back them up to a place where they thought that abortion after 6 months was not cool, maybe even 3 months. And then you get the radicals on the left that say, my body, my choice, right up to 9 months. So those people you're not going to change, and those are the ones with the biggest voice right now. We're forgetting that the moderate middle will agree on, yeah, abortion's probably not a great thing. I'm not looking to make it illegal or take away a woman's choice. I'd like it to be rare, uncommon, and frowned upon because it's ending a life, and I love children. I want more of them. I love women. That's why I want more of them born. But the radical left will tell you, no, my body, my choice right up until 9 months. And if you come from, Northam in Virginia, governor, said when he was asked a question on air, what happens if a baby, survives an abortion? Well, we keep it comfortable, and then we talk to the parents and the doctors, and we decide what to do. What? So I'm going to listen to this. I scanned through it last night quickly. I'm going to stop and start all the way through it so that you can hear what Laura Yip has to say live on the Tom McConnell Show on 610 CKTB.
Joining us right now, she is St. Catharines Regional Councillor Laura Yip. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. For those who do not follow you on social media, you've documented a case of online harassment over the last couple of days.
Yep.
Can you outline exactly what happened here?
So, on Sunday morning, I thought Sunday was going to be a much different day. Sunday morning, I opened up my laptop to find a message from someone who I have no idea who they are. With a message that said, "You have a mouth on you, ... that is not fit for regional council." And, I know there are a number of people in the community who think, so what, big deal. There's a sort of a violence in "you have a mouth on you" that set me to shaking, frankly.
Okay, so first off, what is it about "you got a pretty mouth"? You got a pretty mouth. You got a mouth on you, young lady. You got a real mouth on you, young lady. You're not fit for regional council. I think you're fit. This is not my tweet. This is not my communication, not my post, not my DM. But how does "you got a real mouth on you" set you to shaking unless you're fragile? Like a little baby girl. Now, should I just stick? I'm trying. I'm really trying to stick to the topics and not get personal. Okay, let's reset that commitment, okay? So, without getting personal, the victim card is being played quite a bit here. You'll see that. And I guess that's all I got to say about that now.
The follow-up message was, "We are watching." And then it turned into a bunch of messages about, I still don't quite understand this. This individual is, I think, upset that I think marital rape is a bad thing. Which is a weird thing. Anyway, I sent him a message and said, I've not made any comments like this, because he was carrying on. I haven't made any comments like this. I'm not responding to any further messages. If you have a regional council issue, you can take it up with any one of 30 other regional councillors. And I left it. And he continued. And what has happened is there's another individual who is just weirdly fixated on me.
My ears are burning. Laura, I'm not fixated on you. You're a politician. I'm no more fixated on you than I'm fixated on, I don't know, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, AOC. How about Nancy Pelosi? How about Maxine Waters? How about Governor Cuomo? Don Lemon? Chris Cuomo? Or any of the Rachel Richard Maddow, as Mark Dice would say. Don't flatter yourself, Ms. Ip. I think you know I'm not strangely fascinated or obsessed with you. And as you're going to learn, we were friends. But here's the kicker. My politics changed. That's it. You can't be friends with the radical left if you're in the moderate middle. I'm a guy that doesn't hold his tongue very often, says what he thinks. I'm very political. So yeah, Laura, yep. I don't think that you should be able to my body, my choice to the death of a child that's unborn. Sorry. What? You don't need CNN, do you? You got enough entertainment here, don't you? It's been 3 days of piling on. Good old Jimmy Fannon again. I went through 45 days of it when I dropped the DFC comment on this young lady. Not probably appropriate or friendly or, screaming out, be my friend. But it was a funny bit. And I do comedy. I am hilarious. And whether or not you find me entertaining or hilarious or just madly fixated on one individual that happens to be a woman, well, I don't think you know me. What am I talking about now? Where were we going? What was she talking about? Oh yeah, I'm not fixated on you, Laurel. I'm a political addict. Okay, I am addicted. I do have a problem with social media. I cannot seem to get away. I get away from it when I feel like it, but I just keep coming back. It's not about getting my name in the paper. It's not about, well, it probably is about looking good. It's marketing, okay? It's branding, and I do it half decently. I also have some takes, and I'm not going to shut my mouth about them. So if you think that killing babies, unborn babies in the womb is cool, my body, my choice, if you support that up until 9 months, we're not going to come to an agreement on that, like I said in the open. So no, Laura. Here's the thing. Do I need to say this again? I like Laura Yip. She's bright. She's ideologically possessed. She's got a decent sense of humor. And I know this because I was tight with Laura Yip. Here's the deal. Before we go any further, maybe I should just say this from the outset. Early January 2014, what was it? Greg Washuta resigned. Or there was a seat open. I think it was Greg's seat. And the discussion was, and I was on 610 at the time. I was doing the Jim Fannon Show. I didn't finish up that story quickly. When Peter Kormos died, Andy Petrowski was left without a co-host. Andy Petrowski was doing the show called The Region. Andy was the righty. Kormos was the lefty. It was a good show, whether you like Andy or not. When Kormos died, as a regular caller to Tommy's show, I called up and said, hey, who do I talk to about being the lefty for Andy Petrosky. Somebody needs to keep that cat in check. I knew who to talk to, so I got my so I went and did it. I got my appointment. I got my interview, and then I got on air, and then I was okay at it. I mean, it's a difficult job, but I took to it rather naturally. I really enjoyed it, and I had fun doing it. On the spot, as my record was pretty good as a caller, a regular caller and a character, and the caller of the year a few years, because Tom used to run this thing, caller of the year, and we had our own little community from 9 to 12 on the Tom McConnell Show, where the callers knew each other. We had nicknames for each other. We razzed each other. We grinded on each other. We mocked each other. We made fun of each other, and usually we talked about politics and the issues of the day. It was great. So as a caller, I had a track record. And so when I was sitting with the GM and the PD at that time, they said right on the spot, right in the GM's office, give him his own show. Forget Andy. He can follow Andy with his own hour. Okay, I took it. Rick Dykstra, I think, was one of my first guests. Mayor McMullen was a first guest. I was rough in the beginning, man. Really anxious, pit soaked, but I got better at it. And then I brought local talent in to play the bumper music in and out. We had some great sessions, and most of them are lost now because my YouTube channel got canceled because of these people right here. And I'm talking to you, Laura Yep. I'm not saying you specifically, but the lefties, the radicals, targeted my Twitter accounts, targeted my YouTube channels, and I'm on my third YouTube channel because I had Jim Fannon, and I had Jim Fannon Show, and I had Team Niagara. I had, I've got Rocker Town. I've got accounts, right? Nature's Hemp I used to have. So I'm on my third Twitter account and my fifth YouTube channel, because every time I put something up that's on the borderline, I get a community guideline strike because somebody complained about it. You did that, people that support Laura Yep. I know. I'm a target. So I got my way on with my own show on Sunday from 1 to 2. Then Petrosky didn't get his contract renewed. I took his hour. I was 12 to 2 on Sundays, working for Contra. In that industry, it's advertising. So basically, I got some free ads to run for Jim Fannon as a realtor that I cashed in years later. I think they were giving me $100 per show in Contra. I did 100 shows. And I did a year and a half of Sundays, and then I became the guy that filled in for this guy right here, Tom McConnell. I filled in for Larry Fedoruk. I filled in for Kevin Jack when he was there. I filled in for everyone except Tim Dennis because I didn't think people wanted to listen to me in the morning. I could make myself vanilla. That's what you want in the morning. You want, I don't want the cackling and the jerking off and all the, the morning zoo. I want a guy that's mellow. Gives me the weather and the news, what's going on local, right? So I didn't do the early morning show. I did everything else. I was the number one fill-in guy until I did a little bit about the Grape and Wine Festival. There was a guy that was the chair of the board at the Grape and Wine, and other people that sat on the board that weren't big fans of mine. It was a great 9-minute segment. It's on iTunes. You can find it. It's called Grape and Wine. I think Billy Sadler's in the booth with me or somebody. Local musician. It was my best work, in my opinion, and I really don't like my work. This kind of stuff, I'd rather be on the radio. I think there's something really sexy about having a well-produced show for radio, but here we are. Similarly, my DFC bomb that I dropped because Laura Yip, here's where it all started. I became center-right, moderate. The left didn't like it. I found the far left's takes like late-term abortion abhorrent. So I called them out. So I'm pretty good at calling people out. I'm pretty good at trolling. I'm pretty good at debating and speaking. I come with facts. Most lefties don't want to talk to me anymore. That's fine. But when you're getting fact to death, maybe I'm going to fact you to death. When you're getting fact to death, it hurts because you realize you don't have a position to stand in. So I'm not bad at this whole game. So I'm not here to pat myself on the back. We're going to listen to this little interview. Why did I stop it? I forget where I was going. But that's the history. I got fired from 610 CKTB because the GM wouldn't stand against me making fun of the Grape and Wine Festival. The Grape and Wine Festival was doing some contra with the station as far as access to the park. They lost that after that, so it was all for naught because they didn't keep their access to the park. Seahow or whoever got it, Giant, after that, not probably because of me. So I got booted because I made fun of a local festival, the Grape and Wine Festival. Gone. 9-minute segment, and it's my best work. Similarly, the bomb that I dropped at the DFC on Laura Yep, because she kept tweeting, here's where it started. She had this proclivity for tweeting out posts that included the phrase, Jesus fucking Christ. Now, I don't use that language. I have a filthy mouth. I'm the first one to say that. And it's not because I'm all Christian and stuff like that. Like, I am a believer. But my faith is way stronger than to be offended by somebody saying Jesus fuck. It just curdles my blood. It makes my skin crawl. Whatever analogy you want to put to it, I don't like hearing it. It makes me... And why is another thing. But it's not because I'm deeply Christian by any means. I just don't use the words. And sometimes if I'm in mixed company and the opportunities there, and I think there's a conversation to be had, I'll ask if they're a believer. And if they say yes, then I'm like, eesh. You might. If you're a believer, then why do that? You know? And if you're not, do you think it's disrespectful to anyone that does believe in anything? So Laura Yip had a proclivity. Love that word. I'm learning words. For tweeting out things that she was passionate about and including Jesus fucking Christ in there. And she would never spell Jesus right. It was like Jeezus. So talk about mocking a religion. So I am offended for everyone that has faith because I don't hear you talking about Muslims, you fucking hypocrite. I thought I was going to try and watch my language. I'm going to try and tone it down. You don't need fucking in there. The hypocrisy. I'm a hypocrite too. I get it. We're all hypocrites. But this is blatant and it's ugly. And I don't like you as an atheist being able to take the Lord's name in vain, where that's what it's called, without having to be accountable for it from the standpoint that I don't see you showing pictures of Muhammad. I don't see you talking disrespectfully of Jews, Muslims, or any other faith other than this one. So, I had her on the show 4 years ago. You can find it. I guess she just came from a yoga workout. We had a date booked. We were friendly up until that point. She did tell me when she came in that she had a lot of pushback by her left-wing friends that thought that it was a bad idea that she talked to me. I get it. I don't know. I guess I'm scary. Why? Why? It wasn't a real productive conversation that nobody changed anyone's mind there. I think it was okay. I've had better interviews. I've been red-pilled over the last 5 years So in 2015 or 16 or something, I ran my last election as a Green Party candidate. I'm probably going to be politically active this federal cycle. I'm back. Sorry, bitches. I'm back. Now, sorry, bitches doesn't mean women. And it doesn't mean female dogs. It means all of you bitches. So there's the history. I like Laura Yep. That's a long way to say I love Laura Yep. I've told her I love her many times. I love a lot of peeps. She's not dumb. She's not dumb. I want to apologize to Laura Yep for calling you a dumb fucking cunt. You're not dumb. Sorry. I know that doesn't help. It's funny, okay? I'm not sending a hit squad out like these people are. When I dropped the comment, a month later, I did a video. It was funny. It was very similar to this. It was me jacking around. I couldn't find her tweets because I had her on mute. I took about 5 minutes. I had a couple drinks in me. I had gone live unexpectedly after working on it for 4 hours, and boom, I'm live. So I'm like, I'm going to do a show. I cruised my Twitter feed, who's at the top, at Grantham Citizen, who, can you believe there was a movement to prove that I'm Grantham Citizen? The tweets aren't even similar at all. Anyways, he's gone now. He's bailed. I texted him last time. I'm like, dude, where'd you go? He unfollowed everyone, and he's done. He says, I'm out. He was a really active voice, critical voice, and a conservative voice. He worked for the DSBN in St. Catharines. That's all we know about him. That's all. He would never reveal his identity. Grantham Citizen could have been. I see this guy as a man. I'm almost sure. Maybe he said as much as that. But anyway, a couple drinks. We're rolling. I do a little bit. It's funny. I'm having some fun. And you've probably, all the lefties have seen it because the Rage Bait sent them there. They put the link to the show, which is only on BitChute. I think I have it uploaded to my YouTube channels, but, it's not something I need to be promoting. It's just one of my bits. I should get it in the rotation. It's not in my iTunes collection, so I must be self-censoring myself because I got hate mail for a month and a half after John Law called me and said, I want to talk to you about your video. I'm like, my video? What? Nobody, the media doesn't call to talk to me about videos. Oh, the one on Laura Yep. I'm like, oh, brother. I had seen some bubbling on Twitter about it. Somebody had sent me some stuff because I don't really follow local guys. Look at me. I'm going to make this into a fucking 2-hour show. Am I recording? Thank goodness. 27 minutes already? No, but does anyone care about this? I'm trying to watch my mouth a little bit. There's no need for it. I love it because I think it's funny. Used in the right measure and frequency. I like, excuse me, COVID much? I like Laura Yep. I've told Laura Yep, like my other girlfriends and boyfriends, men and women alike, that I love them. So I'm sure that she might not be feeling my love right now, but she's a good woman. There's no, I disagree with her ideological possession and what she represents as a far left radical. She's not a bad person. She's bright. She's resourceful. She's just ideologically possessed. That's it. That's where it ends. Here, Laura, I called you 3 times. Okay? I left you voicemails because I figured, you know what, when you're a jackass to your friend, maybe you should just call up and go, fuck, I'm a jackass. I'm sorry. I was doing this thing. I don't take it back. It's, a snapshot in time for me. It was just a couple drinks, talking local politics. I got carried away. It's funny. I know you don't think it is, but I was having fun. You see me the whole bit. It's 40 minutes. It's beginning to end. It's nothing but Jimmy Fannon jerking around. It's funny, okay? That's what we do here. That's what I do. I do politics, and I bring it in a way that's hopefully entertaining for me. If I ever watch my stuff, I don't normally watch my stuff. Okay, there's the history. I don't know that I need to interrupt all that much more. That's the history. I like Laura Yip. We were tight. Oh, this is what I didn't touch up on. January 2014, there's an opening in council. I'm on the radio at the time. Did I tell you how I got on the... No, I'm kidding. Guess who is a guest of mine on the radio? It's the same person that was... okay, so here's the deal. Council seat opens up. Council starts talking about having a by-election. Or do we just appoint the third runner-up? Or do we leave the seat open until the next election? So there's a few months left in the term. You don't need to leave the seat open. There's no reason for that. It's way too late to have a by-election before the next general election. So why just appoint the third runner-up? Who's the third runner-up? Laura Yip. All right, what's her resume? Who cares? She's the third runner-up. Plug her in. But then I started becoming impressed by her, And then I started to support her as a friend off the air. So I had her on the air a couple times. And hey, I've got all the texts to prove it. I have the receipts, people. I have every text since the first text I sent Laura Yip in 2014, if you can believe that. So I'm able to see the election of mayor. Oh, there's a federal election. Yeah. Oh, we're chatty then. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. You're on my show 4 years ago. I was her biggest fan and supporter. Plug her in. I had her on the radio. From the 1st to the 28th, when she was appointed by council, we were tight. Best friends almost. Strategy. She doesn't have, at the time, she had no political instincts at all. Probably still doesn't. I shouldn't say that. She knows how to make news for herself, right? That's a political instinct. And a damn important one, too, so keep it up. But playing the victim card's getting old, Laura. I'm not targeting you. I'm not calling for your harassment. If people use tweets of mine where you call Jordan Peterson, yes, one of the greatest thinkers of our time, and yes, he's not a moron. He's a clinical psychologist. He's got 2 best-selling books. He lectures on psychology at the U of T. He's a professor. He's fucking brilliant. Now, whether or not you believe that you should, clean your room and make your bed before you go off into the day because it makes the world a better place, I don't have any problems with that. If you think that he mocks LGBT community or disrespects them by not using preferred pronouns and mandated speech, that's what he came to power. How he became popular. Great, that's fine. But he's not a moron. Here's where it all starts. I'm feeling my oats a little bit, I think. A federal election is coming, and I'm seriously consider running. Not for the Greens. Not for my buddy's party, and none of the above party. And if you watched my segments before, you know what I'm talking about. Stop it. But I'm getting wound up. This is where I start.
Who had gone back and found a tweet of mine from 3.5 years ago. It was in response to something that Jordan Peterson said, and this individual who posted it said, "Oh, this left-wing radical feminist is criticizing one of the greatest thinkers of our time." Which, if you think Jordan Peterson is one of the greatest thinkers of our time, there's probably a discussion that needs to be had there. But the tweet was about Jordan Peterson was saying this is why sex should be enshrined in marriage, and he was talking about abusers. And I made a sarcastic remark about, yes, let's go back to when marital rape was legal. And so for whatever reason, the individual that is weirdly fixated on me and is constantly tweeting about me, posting things to Facebook, has made videos, this sort of thing, went and found this tweet, posted it. It set this individual off, who started messaging me on Sunday morning. And I decided, I've put up with the abuse and the harassment for nearly every day for more than 2 years. Most of the time it's anonymous. Every now and then someone is brave/stupid enough, it's a fine line, to attach their name to it. And so I thought, you know what, if you're going to send me messages like this, I'm going to show everybody that you're sending me messages like this. And so I posted the screenshots. That set him to start making accusations about me bullying him, that I'm playing the victim card, that I'm a whiner. It continued. I was still getting messages this morning. I called the police. Now he's upset on his social media that I have wasted taxpayer resources by sending the police out to talk to him. That's sort of it in a nutshell.
Can I ask?
I guess I'll just let it roll here. This is, we're 4 minutes into a 16-minute interview on 610 CKDB. I put this shot up because I think it's interesting to see that CNN still has the coronavirus pandemic. Do you have nothing else for news, dudes? Anyways, I will stop and start as we roll here if I find anything amusing or, I don't know, something I should discuss.
Ask, is he one of your constituents or not?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he lives in Welland.
Okay. All right. So he reached out to you for what reason originally? Did he just say, out of the blue, you have a mouth on you?
Well, yeah. I mean, months ago, I received a few messages from him asking for me to make changes to laws, like actual, law enforcement kinds of things. And way back then, I said, I replied and I said, I appreciate that this is a concern for you. In this particular case, you would have to take it up with the federal government and contact your MP. Then there was another issue. He had an issue about Halloween. And I said, you'll need to take this one up with your MPP. And so hadn't heard from him since. And then he, the first message that I saw from him the other morning was, you have a mouth on you. And it was in response to this tweet from 3.5 years ago, which, I mean, for the record, I stand by that tweet. Jordan Peterson is a moron. That's what I said in the tweet.
Well, in 3.5 years, it's interesting what sort of...
So, what if he's a moron? Isn't that disparaging to somebody that's a moron? That's not very sensitive and inclusive and tolerant, Ms. Yip. I have nothing other than that.
Deal, and I don't want to get down that road. Jordan Peterson has gone through some sort of process over the last 3.5 years. That
gone through some things, yeah.
He's gone through some things. I'll leave it.
Wow, find this entertaining at all? Do you have an idea of what Tom's talking about? Is the fact that Jordan Peterson has come off a benzo dependency. It almost killed him. He's been off the market for over 2 years. He just barely got his book out. He audio voices the book. He narrates the book. And he sounds in the first chapter like he's almost dead. Like it nearly killed him. He had a reaction or an interaction with an SSRI he was taken for depression. What does Laura Yip, this I'm here for everyone type of mantra that she struts around all the time, where's her compassion for a guy that almost was killed by a drug interaction because he treats his depression? She's actually giggling. They're making light of the fact that, yeah, one of the greatest thinkers and communicators of our time, whether you agree with him or not. It's widely accepted that he is one of our deep thinkers, one of the great thinkers. It's only whack jobs like you, Laura. Yep. Sorry, now I'm going back to the personal stuff, but there's only whack jobs on your side of the political spectrum that thinks he's dangerous somehow. We're not. We're not buying it. We are not buying it.
But there. Now, getting back to your issue.
Really funny, though.
And I know people have
really funny, Laura.
What I face as a talk show host is completely different because, I'm set up for that in terms of people may not like what I have to say. Okay, no problem. But some people would say, well, why didn't you just ignore it? But I would say, have you not ignored it up to this point?
I have ignored so much of it. And this is the...
So much of it. What, words? So much of what? People criticizing you? No one's calling for your stoning. No one's saying we should burn you at the stake. No one's coming by your house. No one's threatening you or your children or your ex-husband. It's not happening, Laura. This is nothing more than you saying, look at me. Poor me. Because you do want to run next time. And this is building your war chest. And it is galvanizing support for your far left radical supporters. It's crystal clear to see the transparency here. This is a woman that said she wasn't going to comment on any of my comments, my comedy bit that I did, for lack of a better term, my political commentary with bad language in it. She wasn't going to comment on it until John Law called her, and then she's like, oh my God. I guess the high road got buried. What a flaming hypocrite.
This is the thing, and I mean, I can't win. I can't, it doesn't matter what I do, I can't win. If I ignore it...
And this is part of, victim culture. I can't... Have you heard anything so helpless as someone that says, I can't win. Everything I do is wrong. What are you, a petulant child? You sound like one. Sorry.
I should be calling it out and making it public. If I call it out, then I'm whining and I should ignore it. If I call the police, right, then I'm wasting taxpayer resources. If I don't call the police, it's not serious enough. The bottom line is everybody just wants everybody. I shouldn't say everybody. The kinds of people who engage in this behavior, they want me to shut up. That's their big issue. I mean, the number...
No, Laura, we don't want you to shut up. We actually, I can only speak for me because, you really think people are taking my direction? I hope I'm providing information, maybe, an opposite viewpoint. No one wants you to shut up, Laura. What we want you to do is be effective at your job. Even if I don't support your effectiveness, even if you're working with the will of counsel on leftist ideology as far as what you're putting up in your, agenda, I still support you as being a powerful leader in our community, even if I don't support your agenda. I don't want you to shut up, Laura. I want you to be an effective regional counselor. Yeah. I want you to have the best interest of all of the population of Niagara Region, not just people in St. Catharines, because you're elected there. Of all people in St. Catharines, even ones that are critical of you, Laura. We don't want you to shut up. We don't want you to go away. We want you to do your job and stop pissing and moaning.
The number of emails that I get that are variations of just shut up is staggering. And this is the frustration is, people say, oh, you shouldn't participate. Don't respond to them. I'm not. I've started in the last several months, when people start sending me messages like this, I reply one single time. And that one single time is to say, I'm not responding to you. You can contact 30 other people if you have an issue.
Right.
Right? So they're aware. They are aware that they are not going to get a response from me. And so, no one can even say, well, you didn't tell them that they couldn't send you these messages. Well, no, I suppose I didn't tell them they couldn't send me these messages, but I did tell them I'm not responding. If I block people on social media, then I'm shutting down democracy. If I don't block them, then and again, that I can't. This shouldn't even be a thing that we're concerned about whether I'm winning or not. But I can't win. No matter what I do, it's the wrong response to someone.
Victim culture. I'm a woman, therefore I am a victim. I'm a woman, therefore I am vulnerable by the man. Laura, I don't know why you think this is so funny. And back when Laura and I were friends, when she would go on the radio after I was fired and we were still friends, I would tell her, stop cackling. Stop with the cackling. You're not Tammy Jennerette. It's not funny. You're not funny, so don't laugh on air. It's bad radio. Now, unless you're doing a funny bit and the laughter's funny, don't use it as a crutch. Try to stop with the, I know, right? And the Tommy's, what's Tommy's? Okay, no problem. Okay, no problem. Okay, no problem. And I'm like, and they're like, and she's like, and they're like, and I'm like, and they're like, and I'm like, I know, right? Valley girl. It's fucking gross. So we're friends. I'd say, Laura, this is probably where it went wrong. I haven't looked at this on my phone. Laura Yep was on with Kevin Jack. They were talking about sexual assault. She was cackling, laughing, whatever you want to call it. I texted her, sexual assault, hilarious. That's pretty much the beginning of the end for us. I'm pretty sure. Speaking of the beginning of the end, what? You know those people that you look at and you go, this girl over there in the corner there. I don't know. She's a horrible broadcaster and she's just got a look that makes me go, I know. I'm working on it. I'm trying. Believe it or not, I'm getting better. Just not at a real rapid pace. God bless me. Please stay with me, kids. I'm going somewhere. I need your support. Speaking of support, I just had a follower on Twitter ask me how he could support me. And I told him that I have a Patreon account over at patreon.com/free speech that's never been used before. I don't have a monthly sub. I've never been given a donation. Don't know how it works. I think it's connected. So as we work on Trew.Tube, it turns out I need a shit ton, way more resources than I thought I'd need, which means money, if I want a pirate ship. Trew.Tube will be the pirate ship, where you won't have to worry about me being censored, and where you have to pay to see the good stuff. The shitty stuff we'll put out for free, but the good stuff will be behind the paywall, and I'm going to see if I can get more than 10 subscribers a month. That's the plan. Patreon.com/free speech. I don't normally do commercials or ask for donations, and frankly, I'm not asking, but if you like what you see and you feel like you want to give, like this guy on Twitter did, I'm not going to out him, but shoot me a donation on PayPal at realestate@teamniagara.ca. realestate@teamniagara.ca. And now, back to your regularly scheduled program. Laura Yip on the Tom McConnell Show.
Yesterday, he said, when people read this story, they're going to ask, why don't you call the police? And I said, first of all, it never meets the threshold. It never meets the threshold. They walk right on up to the line, but they
I don't have notes for this. I should have notes. If it never meets the threshold, then you don't call the police and insist that they go talk to somebody because they put words on the internet about you. Yeah, it is a waste of resources. So if it never meets the threshold, then don't call police. This is too easy. And maybe I'll do a separate segment. Maybe I'll save these both for Thursday night. I don't know. It's Wednesday tonight. I have a whole other segment on the pile-on. Coming from the Laura Yip supporters. I took it for 45 days when the first bit dropped and the fake news came out. I wonder if I put out a message to John Law like, hey, you want to do a follow-up on that original piece that you did? You know, that 20-minute interview I gave you that suddenly, weirdly, the only quotes that came up are stuff like, well, yeah, kind of the first to admit I have a hard time placing my hate in positive places. Yeah, I said that. It was the first thing we said. You know, as a hello. I guess there is no off the record with John Law. Hey, Jim, how you doing? Well, I guess, I could find a better place to put my hate, I guess. That was like the lead quote in the article. Hey, John, you want to do a follow-up? You want to interview me for real? No, I'll just sit out here and do it. Don't worry about it.
They don't cross it. And I said to Bill, the problem is, so it doesn't meet the threshold, and then people will accuse me of wasting resources. Like, do you want me to call the police 3 times a week about this stuff? I don't think you do. Then, this morning, it continues, and
Well, that might be the only thing I agree with Laura Yip on here. No, we don't want you calling the cops because people put words on the internet about you. No, we don't. You're right. I don't think we do. So stop it.
I go, you know what? I am going to call the police. And I call the police, and then people go, you're wasting taxpayer resources.
Because you are.
And the amazing thing is, as well, and people don't believe it.
Do we have a low threshold for amazing? I know I'm being very literal here, and it's not meant to be that way.
But in terms of a double standard here.
Here's the double standard. You can say whatever you want about anyone, Laura Yip, but when somebody says mean words about you, you're a fucking threatened victim.
There are colleagues on your council who will say anything about any subject.
Yep.
Apparently, and get nothing back except a few claps. Oh, good for you. And as a female, I just can't imagine, right, that just sharing an opinion is so triggering.
Tom, who's triggered? Sharing an opinion? What are we talking about here now? Sharing an opinion. What? On my body, my choice up until birth? That's completely a legitimate point to debate.
For people that they want their politicians to be what? Silent and compliant?
No. We want them to be effective. And we want them to stop whining every time they get a bad word put in their inbox.
Right? Yeah. Well,
right.
This is part of what frustrated me last night is because, first of all, a lot of people say, oh, it's not about gender. Point me to where it says anything in that message about gender.
It's not about gender. It's about you being a left-wing ideologue that shoots her mouth off about things that people don't agree with. So when they express their anger and disappointment and, I don't know, a different point of view, eat it. Take it, Laura.
It doesn't need to have the word.
You're going to call the cops? You sent the cops to this man's house. His children think he's going off to jail. You know what? I got some threatening messages from you. shock jock wannabe basement dweller? That's not kind. That's hurtful. Maybe I should call the cops.
Word gender in it or the word woman in it or any of that to be about gender. The other message that we get is,
because
well,
it's
the
not
men
about
deal
gender.
with it too. Well, here's the thing. The men who are willing to even engage with me and other women politicians on this subject, they have clearly publicly stated in council meetings, on social media, in traditional media, they do not get anywhere near.
Anecdotal. Chris Biddle gets it. Trust me. Jim Diodati gets it. Trust me. Walter Senzik, he gets it. Trust me. From men and women alike. That does not mean we are targeting a politician because of their gender. It's called sex. Doesn't matter if you're male or female. It's your political position we're attacking. You dolt. That's not political. That's not very nice either. Make another fucking video about that one.
The volume?
I mean, another, you could make another, a big, podcaster harasses woman, calls her adult, recounts the time he said DFC.
Or the type of messages of this kind that we do.
This isn't even half over. I'm over this. Have I said all I need to say?
If you're not going to pay attention to the women, maybe listen to the men.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We're not listening to either one of you.
Well,
little
you
fired
just
up.
see.
Sorry.
Right.
Well,
I can see why.
Well, why?
Right? That
why,
you
Tom?
deal with such BS.
Why?
And
BS?
You deal with people and
deal with people.
So in this position, I get a couple of. It's interesting.
Tom, nobody
most
cares about your
people, when you
position,
respond, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
say
nobody cares
it's
about that.
the same. It is
Shut up.
nowhere near the
It's
same.
the same.
Right?
And
It is.
the
It is
number of
not
people
close.
who
Just
have
let her
said,
talk.
Oh, you don't need to be afraid. You don't need
See,
to
tell
feel
me what I make
threatened. There were
about
a
him.
couple of them this morning that found it hilarious that I said in the story with Bill that, whether it meets the threshold for criminal charges to be threatening, it's completely different than if it makes me feel unsafe. That shouldn't be funny to you. Making me feel
It's not our responsibility to make sure you feel safe in the political arena, Laura Yip. Man the fuck up. It's not our responsibility, Laura. Let it roll off your back or get out of politics because you obviously don't have the thick skin for this game. Or just victim culture is going to take you to the top. I don't know.
unsafe shouldn't be funny, right? And
I think it's funny that you feel unsafe because somebody said we're watching you. We are watching you. I'm watching you, Laura. I'm not sitting out your house in my car waiting for you to come out. We're watching you. We're watching what you do on social media. We watch what you do at city regional council. Yes. We're watching, Laura. Ooh, I'm fucking scared myself there.
You've met me. You've seen me. I'm not a big person.
I've met you. I've seen you. You're a half pint as compared to a pint. Yeah. That makes you afeared?
Relatively small human. If one of these guys, and there are a couple that I am quite seriously concerned could turn violent.
What? How? Based on what, Laura? You're concerned that a couple of us, I'll put me in the category since I'm the one that trolls you and makes memes and puts tweets, and we haven't even, I should probably pull up the tweet, eh? Hey, what do you think, eh, fuck? You want to go for a, get a 2-4 there, fuck. Hey, guy. Hey, guy. Yeah. I should show you the tweet there, fuck.
And if one of them does, I got nothing. Like,
Yeah, you don't, because you're a girl. You're a woman. Most women don't fight well with men. Most men don't attack women, so you should be okay. despite mean words on the internet.
I have no hope against some of these guys.
Nor should you be concerned that they're coming after you.
And a day, and listen, it's all upon the spectrum, the continuum, of threatening, harassing,
Continuum?
to violence against females.
There's no violence, Tom. We're not threatening. It's not violence, Tommy. Quit giving oxygen to this bushfire.
Look at the British politician, right?
Yeah.
Who was just a woman and was killed for that. And I'm looking at the news today about Adam Strong was convicted of 2 murders against women, that there is a 19-year-old boy who stabbed, 19-year-old man who stabbed a 17-year-old girl in an Edmonton high school, that a British...
Okay, what are you talking about? How is this even relevant? Yes, most men commit most violent crimes, but most crimes aren't on women, you dolt, double D.
Woman went missing, and a police officer in Britain is accused of her death, right? Like, violence against women doesn't have to be specific and the worst kind for us not to be concerned about it. And it is part of a continuum and a spectrum.
Women. That's right, and it's because they're women, right? And you can't tell me that this...
What the fuck are you talking about, Tommy? Tommy, come correct, please, Tommy. I'm not quite sure what you're saying.
Behavior won't or can't escalate. We see it all the time.
There's no escalation. There's no call for your, you know what they call, you know what they say. There's no call for your, What the call is for your integrity, for your lack of hypocrisy, and for you to start being what you preach, which is tolerant and inclusive. That includes people that disagree with you, Laura.
As you just listed, right? Like, and
right.
I mean, less than that, again, because these people don't care. But it's completely disruptive
16
for
minutes
me and
of
my
mush.
Life and my children and their dad. Like, I haven't.
Okay, no one's talking about your children. No one's talking about your ex-husband. Okay? Like, stop bringing family into this because nobody brought your family into this. No one's saying, hey, you should, they're not even saying look over your shoulder. But is that threatening? Watch your back? Rob Gill, the Death Star, has risen. Rob Gill was trolling Douglas Beeson. He was the guy that screenshotted my tweet of, I thought this was going to be a separate show, or probably I was just being lazy instead. Let me see if I can find it here. First of all, I'll give you something to watch while I do that. A distraction is what it's called. A diversion. There we go. We'll give you some Fox News for a second. I don't think I'll get copyright strikes for this. I think I'm almost done here. Where is my Laura Yip tweet? Okay, Twitter. I'm going to need a break here, a bathroom break soon, kids. It's ironic that feminists claim to be pro-choice. They literally have hundreds of different conception choices, yet they end up pregnant and claim they have no other choice to abort. How fitting is this, that this just came up in my feed, tweeted about a half an hour ago? No one. I love you. That's all I've got. Absolutely. I don't care. Marry me. That's it. Oh, this is actually... How come... Where's my Twitter account? How come this isn't following? Unfollow. Oh, okay. Yeah, I am following. Okay, good. Where was I going? I was going somewhere else. You want to see commercials? Oh, shit. I should probably just show you. It's eerily similar, this broadcast, to the original one I did. When I was screwing around trying to find her tweets and I wasn't prepared. I really got to go to the bathroom. CNN, what do you got? You got something for me? Come on. Do me a solid. Oh, shit. There's commercials on every freaking channel. All right, well, at least this will give you something. Okay, so I'm going to go try and find the original post. Oh, shoot. I don't have a search bar because the view's too tight. Okay. Oh, you know what? Oh. I think we need to take a break. We definitely need to take a break. We'll just cruise our feed. That's all we need to do. All right, so here's the tweet. It's 3.5 years old, as Laura Yip has been so eloquent in stating repeatedly that she tweeted something 3.5 years ago and it's being dug up on her. Well, welcome to cancel culture, young lady. So Jordan Peterson, in relation to the Louis C.K. episodes, and let me remind you, I'm not sticking up for Louis C.K., but he had consent from the women that he pulled his junk out on, right? He liked to ask women if they minded if he would take out his stuff and play with it in front of them. And they said yes. So, anyways, Jordan Peterson, 2017, November 10th, says, with all the accusations of sex assault emerging, e.g. Louis C.K., we are going to soon remember why sex was traditionally enshrined in marriage. Jordan Peterson puts a high value on, having sex in a committed relationship, in a marriage, rather than outside it. I'm not sure how her milady, jumps to this. Ooh, maybe we can also go back to the days when it was legal for a husband to rape his wife. #moron. I think we already discussed the intellectual capacity of Jordan Peterson. He's no dummy. He's one of the greatest thinkers of our day. That's not just me saying it. I mean, he's made an impact on my life as far as knowledge goes. I understand the personality types now. I understand the narcissistic personality disorder a lot better because of that. And the self-authoring program is great. The Knowing Yourself test is awesome. For $9, you can figure out where you are on the spectrum of the big 5 personality types. So, because I'm thinking, and this is where we ended off before we came to this, because I'm thinking of running in the next federal election, I think I'm just getting warmed up. And these guys are giving me all the pub I need. And it's funny and it's trolling. So this is what I pick up. I pick up her old tweet. I screenshot it. I don't retweet her. That might be cowardly. I don't know. Far left radical feminist trolls, one of the greatest thinkers of our time. Trolling her milady is harassment. Isn't a tolerant left sexy? Sticks and stones, Laura. Remember? Clown world emojis. So this is it. This is what caused the ruckus. And so when Douglas Beeson engages Laura and says, how dare you talk about men that way, as if it's okay for a man to rape his wife, or nobody's raping their wives, okay? Very few of us, like below 1%, okay? Probably about the percentage of people that, die from the coronavirus. Anyways, we're getting off track here. This is the tweet that Douglas Beeson screen captures and leaves in Laura's direct messages when he's telling her that she's not worthy of being on council, that she's got a mouth on her, which is, I don't know, somehow harassment. Do we need to even get back to, this whole video here? Like, it's almost done. We might as well hear the end of it.
Done today for my actual job, because I've been so focused on this and what to do about it.
Oh,
and
yeah, it must be consuming your whole
is there a
life.
potential danger? When I called the police, they said to me, I know that you don't know who this person is, but keep your windows and doors locked. Do that. Like they're laying out the things that I need to do.
Do the things that you do
to make
already.
Sure I stay safe.
Keep your windows and doors locked.
Because
normally you don't.
Crying and whining and calling the police and
crying and whining and calling the police is exactly what you're doing, Laura.
If you don't want any of that to happen,
you notice?
Stop doing it.
You know what the left is doing because they accuse you of doing it. And how many times has she contradicted herself in this interview? It doesn't rise to the level of criminal harassment, period. But you called the cops anyway.
Stop sending me these messages.
Listen, block him. Simple. Soon as you don't want to talk, I don't block people. Very rarely. I think it shows weakness. I think it shows that you can't put up with the conversation or the friendship or what have you. So that's not me. But we're not talking about me. Laura, if you have communication that's coming into your inbox that you're not appreciative of, block them. Problem solved. Period. But no, you want to go on a PR campaign. Oh, because there's an election coming up. You always want to be thinking about how to get reelected. The first rule of politics. Acquire and maintain power. First two rules of politics.
Like you're mad because people are supporting me because I'm putting this out there. Stop sending me the messages to put out there.
We don't care what you put out there. You can screenshot our messages all you want. I do not have Anon accounts anywhere. I want my name attached to everything I say in print and here. I don't play the Anon troll game. I never have. Ever.
One of the things that I know about you is that you are willing to engage on political discussions.
No, wrong, Tommy. You are like babying this girl. Kid gloves. This woman doesn't want to talk to anyone but who's in her echo chamber. She seeks to cancel anyone that disagrees with her. Mayor Bilsma. All lives matter. He's a Christian. They sanctioned him. The Integrity Commissioner, led by Laura Yip. You're not... She doesn't welcome conversation, Tommy, just like you don't. Fuck, you won't even take my calls on the radio station anymore. As a caller. Called to wish Tommy a Merry Christmas on air the day before he left for the Christmas break. He left me on hold for 20 minutes and went to other callers and then ended the show. So, Tommy, I get it. Okay? We're not friends anymore. There was a time when we were pretty tight. I thought I could count on a guy like you. But apparently not.
100%.
With a lot of people.
100%.
Even those who...
Talk to anyone.
You know what? We may have a different point of view.
You know what, Tom? You see, you know what? An awful lot. You know what? And I'm like, you know what? And...
Here's why I think, and we can come to some sort of accommodation, that you have not been shy about engaging and having a dialogue and conversing, debating, disagreeing with people on subjects because
Tommy.
They're just ideas.
Yeah.
But there is, for those who are like,
that's
now
me.
I can't even talk to her. And I'm like, well, I've talked to you dozens of times over the years, and you've always been willing to debate and engage on the subject.
Wrong.
So I
Fake
just
news,
want to make
Tommy.
sure people understand.
Fake news.
You're not shutting down debate because you're a woman. You're open
Yeah, she
to
is.
all sorts of conversations.
No uterus, no opinion. What the fuck do you call that, Tommy?
For you and other female politicians.
Yeah, I had a conversation with someone today. It was quite a lengthy telephone conversation. She had a number of concerns about vaccines and everything else, all that fell within provincial jurisdiction. And I did my best to provide her all of the information that I could. And when she finished the phone call with me, she said, well, I'm not any happier about this, but at least now I'm aware of what's been happening.
That is a reaction I get a lot of times in my conversations. Yeah. People are not any happier.
What is so funny?
But I appreciate you trying to inform me. I'm like, thank you. All right.
Yep. So, and
I can do no better than that. Some parts.
All of the abuse that I've taken has been personal.
Masturbation session on air, basically.
And because it's all men. That's the other thing. Some of them are like, oh, well, I'm sure it's
Take your fingers out of your puppet.
It's never been women.
Stop it.
They're upset about things that I'm saying.
Are we going anywhere with this? I am in the basement, literally and figuratively, from the standpoint like I am in so much pain today. And this is the last thing I wanted to be doing. But I think if I don't do it now, I won't be ready. We'll probably play this for tomorrow night's show because I'm busy tomorrow night. I can't go live. So this is going to be my segment, I guess. Happy Thursday night to y'all. 7 p.m. Thursday nights, we're here. Almost every week.
My role as a regional counselor, or they're saying things about my children, or they're like
nobody's saying anything about your children. Show us anywhere that we've said anything. What am I saying? We. Who's ever said anything about your half Asian children? Oh, I'm getting a call. Admit.
Decision that I made at regional council, that's fine. You're going to pull up something from 3.5 years ago before I was a regional counselor, before my name was even on a ballot, and say, this is not appropriate conduct for...
Yeah, I did. We are watching you. We have been for a long time. And, well, here's where the beginning of this started for me, okay? 1, I think I'm preparing to be a federal candidate. 2, I want to draw attention to the fact that I called you a dumb fucking cunt in context, and I have the clip here. I'm going to play it for the first time on YouTube and risk that I get a strike. So it's in context. Every time it gets quoted, it's just, oh, you called her a cunt. Well, no, it's you dumb fucking cunt. Have you never seen Ricky Gervais? It's not a sexual thing. It's got nothing to do with your privates. You dumb fucking cunt. Stop acting like a dumb fucking cunt.
A regional counselor. First of all, yes, it was. I think it's fine for a regional counselor to be opposed to marital rape. But
what? Dude, see, I'm speechless. All men are opposed to marital rape. Dude, we're...
So... It's before I was even on regional council.
So what? So what? Now that you're on regional council, you're breaking the code of conduct all over the place. Shandor, what you got time to comment on this, brother? Thanks for chiming in. I know it's late, so
hey, how are you?
Thank you very much for coming in.
We're doing a recorded thing. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, we're rolling now. It's going to go out unedited, but I appreciate.
Hey.
First, let me say,
how's my audio?
Yeah, it sounds pretty
okay.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. I'm going to turn you up a little bit here. First, let me say, can you hear me?
You got screen sharing?
No, I'm not screen sharing. I don't have you on camera. It's just my picture, and then the background is. Well, I can show you what I'm sharing, or no?
Yeah, let's see it if I can.
I can show you.
Let's see it if I can. I'd like to see what we're looking at on screen.
I can show you what I'm sharing, homie.
You got people calling for your arrest.
Yeah, I know. It's exciting.
I worked with Vicky Fagan.
Got nothing else in my life.
He employed me for briefly for a contract, graphic design. We kind of all of us would kind of know each other for years in this weird way. Like I've not closely, but I've known Carrie Porter for 14 years or something, or 12 years.
You know,
we used to go to the same Strega Cafe
Yeah.
We used to go to Mate.
I was friendly with a lot of these people.
With her about it was about Gaza, and the local protesters were planning on protesting the MP Dijkstra, and they had this big poster. Said this poster with the graphic design, it had the word Gaza dripping in blood. And I'm like, this is kind of a weird reason to meet up with your friends.
Yeah.
To go and stand outside of an MP's office and just hang out with your friends and take a side in a foreign war. Mm-hmm. And so I made all these points. And so I think that Carrie Porter has been observant of and aware of my existence for at least that long. I think she said at the time that I had given up because I had been anti-war, but by taking the position I took, by not joining them in protest in the Gaza. This was like 2014.
Okay, let's come back to the issue at hand. I don't want to get sidetracked too much here because this is going to be a freaking 4-hour video if I keep going down these roads. I'm trying to keep it tight.
Okay.
So what I was trying to say before you so
rudely, we all know each other for years, including you knowing Laura for years, including
biggest
everything.
Fan, biggest supporter since day one. So what I was trying to say, I was trying to acknowledge you, which is probably why you cut me off, because you're probably incapable of accepting love and appreciation from a guy like me. No, I appreciate your friendship, number one. I appreciate your objectiveness. I think that you call it like you see it, strikes and balls, similar to me. I fought hard to get out of my left-wing ideology that I was mixed up in, but the left wasn't also cuckoo crazy for Cocoa Puffs when I was part of it. So I'm proud of myself that I've come full circle, or at least moderately right. But I appreciate your friendship and what you do. So
Likewise.
Thank you for having my back and taking time to come on my shows and talk about.
I know I should be doing my own thing, but I'm on Twitter seeing you get abused.
I know, I see that.
And so I'm not going to stand for that.
It's appreciated. So I just played the interview. I've been rolling now for an hour and 20 minutes. Excuse me. I played the interview. I stopped and started, and we talked about it. Now I think obviously we're done with that. She was wrapping up, but it's ridiculous. But now and you can see that I'm sharing with you now. Miss Carrie Porter, who I was quite friendly with last time I saw, and I must say, anytime I was with Laura Yip, or I took her out, or she was in my car, or I picked her up at her house, get the door, walk her out to the door, up to the door, like the perfect gentleman, because that's how I roll. Carrie Porter and I stood at the bar at the Warehouse not long ago. I don't know what show we were seeing, My Son the Hurricane or whatever. Had a great chat. I thought it was a reasonable chat because I'm a reasonable guy, and everything was really courteous. But since I've gone crazy right wing, then they're out of my life. And they hate me. So here, can you see? I'm scrolling down here. One recent,
and likewise for myself.
Yeah, recent harassment of Councillor Yip can be tracked back to Jim Fannon. His bizarre hatred of her and his misogynistic, racist, transphobic views are no secret. Is this slander? Like, I am not a racist. I am not misogynistic. You can ask any one of my girlfriends or any woman that knows me. Well, I'm not a racist. I love all people. I think all lives matter. I try to be a good Christian. These guys have obviously killed God in their lives. And now because I got a little bit of, I tweeted out that Jim Diodati was going to be on my show. Oh, no. The world is crashing down. This is an elected official calling one of her voters some pretty damning things. Like this gets.
You're saying you voted for her?
No, I'm a voter in her riding, though.
Okay.
Oh no, maybe I'm not in her riding as a city. She's a city councilor. I forgot. Sorry.
That's right.
I'm not a voter, but at
least
a
constituent.
Yeah, I'm a constituent in her city. For sure. So I don't know how, and I don't have time for integrity complaints. And really, I'm like Jeff Laux said the other day. You want to waste $30,000 investigating somebody that said bad words on Twitter? Jesus fucking Christ. Like, come on.
Right.
I don't get time for that. And plus, it's free speech. It doesn't really offend me. I think it just lacks class, decorum, and it breaks the code of conduct. It's not what an elected official should do. And then yesterday, I thought when she was on the McConnell show or somewhere, she started talking as a private citizen. I tweet this out. Oh, well, you remember when Andy Petrowski was trying to use the whole private citizen thing? And they're like, oh, no, you're 24 hours. Anyway, what's your take on this 2-minute video where she lashes out and calls me misogynistic, racist, and transphobic? Like, should I just call my lawyer?
I think that's defamation. Yeah. I mean, I think that's it is a code of conduct concern, and I knew that about you, that you wouldn't go down that route. And that's good, because you're a free speech guy, and actually you support her right to say this.
Absolutely, yeah.
My view is that she's sniping at you from her kitchen instead of asking to be on your show.
Yeah.
Why can't she come and tell you to your face?
Yeah.
Would you be opposed to her expressing those views to you personally?
Absolutely not. I welcome a Grant.
Would you be opposed to her drilling into every single receipt she has about you?
Oh, nothing.
Would she say, quote, you said this? And you'd be like, I said that.
I stand behind it.
You can actually have a productive, remedial conversation to rehabilitate you into a community.
I think I'm capable. I know I'm capable of that, because I don't get all wound up and passionate about these things so much. Like, it bothers me to see the language coming out of an elected councillor, but no, I mean, give me Grant LaFleche, give me Andy, Rob Gill. I'd love to have Rob Gill on the show. I've invited them all on. So now, because, well, I started out with Billsma because I wanted to get him on. He was a great conversation today, just a really breath of fresh air. And then Jim and I are pretty friendly, you know. He texts me, Merry Christmas. I appreciate that, you know. I carve him when I think he needs it, and like when he voted for the masks. And he's a liberal. That's fine. I get it. He's supported liberal candidates before. We're friendly. My dad knows him, you know. He's always been very kind to me, very generous about coming on the show, and I had him on 610 many times. So you tweet out a little something, and they're like, oh, no, this guy's getting too much pub. We can't let this go on. I lose you? Shandor, you mute yourself? I'm doing a monologue now. What happened? I lose my... What happened? All right. Meeting controls. This coffee's making me sweat. Well, okay, Shandor is still there, according to my screen. Dude, are you on mute or what? All right. Shandor, well, if you come back in, just give me the voice up. Let's go back and see what Carrie Porter has to say about good old Jimmy Fannon. All right. Let's see here. Nice house. Here we go.
Of a major international tourist destination that's trying to... So Mayor Diodati is the mayor of a major international tourist destination that's trying to attract millions of people to it, the beautiful Niagara Falls. And I just found out that he, for the second time, has chosen to go on a show called the Jim Fannon Show. And he's doing this a few days after Jim Fannon, again, was a lightning rod for a pile of hate and harassment and threats directed towards Councillor Yip. I just want to remind people that not too long ago, Jim Fannon called Councillor Laura Yip a feminist pig and made fun of the circumstances around Councillor Yip's sister, who passed away by suicide.
Okay, so this suicide thing. Yeah, this suicide thing.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're in.
Okay, I'm back. Yeah. What's that about?
Okay, here's the suicide thing. So, and I'm not gonna play that part of the video, I don't think, because I'm not set up to do that. I could scroll through and find it. Laura Yip has been raped. Laura Yip has had an abortion. Laura Yip says that her sister committed suicide. I have no reason.
These are all things she puts out in the public.
Yes. My unthinkable abortion. And I think just recently she came out on McConnell show and said, not too many people know this, but I was raped. Okay, that's horrible.
Okay.
Nobody's down with rape in this country, in this civilization. Rape is horrible. Okay, just so we're clear, I'm not making light of anything. What I did say is that because her sister committed suicide, that maybe she has some authority to speak on it, on the effects of mental health. Maybe that. Okay. That's
right.
I think that's the complete context that I put it in. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but someone claiming to be Laura Yip's father, back when the first story broke and I got 45 days of hate mail and canceled, triple canceled, fired, deplatformed, people like this going around saying I'm misogynistic and racist and a bigot. And he took exception to what I said. Now, her name was Erica. I didn't know her. Horrible, horrible thing. We don't want our young kids dying for any reason, suicide or otherwise. He took exception with me saying that it, in fact, was not suicide. And I was I never returned the message to the guy. I don't know who he is. He doesn't share the same last name. I never hear Laura speak of her father, ever. And I thought, well, that is... how fucked up is that? How healthy of a relationship do you have with your father if he is claiming that actually, it wasn't conclusive? I forget how he put it. I should have the exact words, but can you imagine? Anyway, the family structure.
Can you contextualize what we're talking about, though? Her claim here, just to play Carrie Porter's advocate for a second to you, is that you were mocking the suicide of her sister, and your response is, I mean, what is it that she's even referring to? You're saying that you mentioned it, and what was? No, I mentioned it. Wasn't nearly what you certainly weren't. Do you unequivocally refute that you were mocking the suicide of her sister?
Oh yes, absolutely. And I'm like, I haven't watched this video in a very long time, but my recollection, and I can skip through it. I probably should do that now because
Jim, you sounded like you were going down a psychoanalyst of Laura, which she puts herself out there. I mean, I'm actually a bit of a Laura Ip expert too, not nearly as much as you are, but just because she puts herself out there and she's an interesting person, and I've read a lot of her material, and she puts it out there, and she's gets a lot of press, and she gets a lot of platforming, and so it's out there, and I know these things. So, she said her first anxiety attack was when, because of her divorce, her parents had a divorce, and her mom said to her that she wasn't allowed to have the feelings she was having. So her mom punished her for having an anxiety attack about a divorce. And so she puts all this out there. And so I don't know how comfortable anyone needs to be in psychoanalyzing it, but at the same time, she does put it out there and makes herself a character in a story that she promotes. It's her story, and the only way to participate in her story is to do it on her terms. Not to counteract or contradict or question or criticize that story. It's very challenging to talk about her because of that, because I actually don't want to dunk on her, and I don't want to criticize her psychoanalyst position. I don't want to criticize her psychology, so I don't think you do either. It's such a deep thing that, what's this she says here, hatred.
Yeah.
I don't think you hate Laura Ip.
No.
I don't think
women,
I think you're hurt
or black,
that she exiled you for having your own point of view. And that's different than hating someone.
Yeah, I'm opposed to her ideas, if you could call that hating an idea, maybe, yeah. But this, reiterating in the second, how many times do you have to drive home the fact that is aiming to send the millions of tourists who are black, indigenous, trans, lesbian, gay, people of color, experience mental illness and live with disabilities? Dude, I'm going to have post-traumatic stress syndrome from this after I'm done.
It's why do they have to throw every insult at you? I mean, those are kind of meaningless words. What's it even mean? And why is she bringing in the tourism? I just think that's bizarre. Like, we get millions of foreigners. So is she implying that you are opposed to foreign tourism in Canada, in Niagara Falls? Are you, Jim, opposed to foreign tourism in Niagara Falls?
No.
Do you look your nose down at the Indians and Asians and so on and so forth who come and visit and bring their money? Oh, and by the way, aren't we under lockdown and you oppose lockdown and you want tourism and we don't have tourism? Carrie Wear Mask Porter is a pro-lockdown person who pretty much doesn't care about Niagara Falls' tourism industry or any industry at all.
Yeah.
So what's she talking about tourism for? Sorry, I live in Niagara Falls. What's she talking about tourism for?
Oh, I think she's just dragging Jim into this because she's figuring if she gets the angle on Jim.
Yeah, he's an advocate of tourism in Niagara Falls, and she is an advocate of the St. Catharines Cabal.
And her greatest pleasure would be seeing Jim Diodati cancel his interview with me because Bill's not gonna cancel. This would be the feather in her cap. She cancels Diodati from coming on my show, and she can say, "See." Yeah, he had a pretty good interview lined up there. And because we're scared of what he might say with this misogynistic pig, and see how I use pig, it's not a sex thing. Just like see you next Thursday's not.
Wait, is there misogynistic pig? Did somebody call you that?
No, but that's what I call myself.
Well, other people are calling you that. You're getting dunked on all over the place. I'm observing.
Oh, really? Yeah. I've only seen
a
small
I mean, you've been given a reputation that I think is not deserved. And even I was just, quote, shamed for defending you for that. Yeah. Just because you have this reputation. And I think
you haven't actually seen
myself
this
as
clip.
the outcast. Yeah, you're an outcast, Jim.
Yeah, for sure.
You're damn right you're an outcast. And I'm an outcast.
And people think I do this just to stir the pot.
Billsman's an outcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not looking for conflict, but I am looking for people to stop tweeting Jesus fucking Christ when they don't even believe in God. So, Shandor, you haven't actually seen this clip. I'm going to play that for you. It's not too long.
That's right. That's right, Jim. When I first came on your show, I had no idea the mess you were getting me involved in.
So let's go to the hate speech.
I just wanted to spout off and use your platform for my agenda. Damn it.
Damn shitting kids. Okay, here we go. I'm going to switch over. Oh, no, we'll just play it from here. You can see this, right? I'm sharing with you still?
Here it is. This is it.
Yeah, here we go.
The DFC.
Well, sometimes I don't like you to see my face. Oh, come on, man. I don't see you drawing pictures of Muhammad. I don't see you taking Muhammad's name in vain. And I don't see you saying anything about the religion that... We don't even need to say anything about the religion that... Why do you hate Christians so much? They fucking built your society, you dumb fucking cunt. It's not nice. But you know what? Who cares? Are they going to throw me off Facebook too? Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, no, you knew right away.
It's my intention to get banned from everything. No, I got to get that YouTube channel back. And I'm a good boy on Twitter. I troll, but I don't use language like that. I never would. But in real life, my passion comes out, and you fucking people drive me fucking crazy, especially this kind of nonsense. Like, just have some respect. You know, it's got nothing to do with respecting Christians. It's about respecting anybody that's got any type of faith, because you take that shit, that attitude for one specific religion, you don't think that, what? You mock them all. Fuck. Makes me sick. I don't know why I care so much, but I was amped up when I saw that.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's interesting, Jim.
Yeah.
You know, what I see here is, you know, you're expressing your offense to what she was saying. And you did it in your terms, on your platform. And that's... You know, they plucked this out later and took it out of context and ran you through the mud over this, and that's just so wrong. It's like you're like you said all along, you were doing a bit.
Yeah, the bit is...
the hair on my arms didn't go to stick up on end like, oh no, you did something terrible.
Oh.
So I mean, have you ever like reached out to Laura and said like we could talk about this?
Yeah, I called her 3 times. I left voicemail. I texted her, and then the next time I called, I think it was like that one ring you're blocked straight to voicemail thing. So I'm like, okay, well, if I'm blocked, I didn't text her to see if I was blocked or whatever, but I'm like, okay, well, I tried, and you know, I have.
All right, Jim. So you want to be a politician now? You're gonna call people dumb fucking cunts?
It was.
Are you?
You know,
are you going to continue talking like that in 2021, 2022?
I do have a filthy mouth, and I've been known to call Justin Trudeau a cuck. I've been known to call people pigs. Like, who's the Justin Trudeau's?
Can we concede the point that we need to improve the discourse? Can we at least say yes? We will be. In fact, we could win simply by being the. Take the high road.
Yeah,
If you go, they go low, you go high.
Here's the thing.
They go low, they've gone so low. Literally, I'm gaining in like people noticing what I'm doing, just because I'm not swearing at people and I have full sentences.
Right.
You know, just because I have like and I actually compose a sentence compared to like basically influencers like you have a problem. And same with Laura and Grant. You guys have the same problem. Your fans are crazy. Right? So you can do the best possible work that you do, and you take a stand, you make a point, you put it out there, and then what if your fan decides to go off and spout off? So like the hypocrisy here that your fan attacked her, well, what about her fans attacking him? And the Flesh's fans attacking people, and what happened with Alicia Herder and all of the harassment she endured, and nobody in the media stood up for her except like Rebel and Toronto Sun.
Look at this.
They didn't stand up against the bullying. So like the hypocrisy is naked and transparent. You know, I feel like these people are falling on their own swords right now. When I listened to Laura Epps' interview yesterday that you just played on the radio, she sounds kind of like she's falling apart. She has no coherent argument to make. In fact, she makes every argument against her.
Yeah, she conflicts herself everywhere when she says, well, it doesn't rise to the level of harassment. So why are you calling the cops then, dude? Like you just said.
Even Rob Gill didn't like that part.
Yeah.
Even like...
When the Death Star comes for you, you know.
Yeah. Did you get that clip? Get that clip?
Which one?
So here's Vicky Fagan, eh? Let's talk about this. Yeah. That's sad.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever met her?
I'm not sure. I meet a lot of people, and I don't often remember who they are, but she doesn't ring a bell to me. Shame on Diodati and Fannon. Shame on... use proper grammar, please. Proofread your stuff, because we're trying to read this in English. Vicky Fagan. Shame on Diodati.
Oh, no. Disavow. Disavow.
Shame on Diodati and Fannon should be arrested. Shame on Diodati and Fannon should be arrested. Whatever. Okay. He is a misogynistic lowlife who gets some kind of thrill out of harassing women. One in particular, unforgivable. But when Maxime Bernier is the feather in your cap as an interview, it says a lot. Enough of this creep. Well, apparently not enough of this creep, Vicky Fagan. Seriously. It's just, where does this stuff end? And this is all because of this. You know?
Right. And they could have let it rest. They didn't have to keep it going.
Here's how you deal.
What exactly are they distracting from? You know, like they're trying to set the narrative, control the narrative, steal your identity, abuse it, and come out on top. Come out as if they're the moral high horse, the moral superiors. Mm-hmm. Sorry, no. This is divisive. This is polarizing.
Here's how you deal with it.
This is driving wedges between people. They're trying to tell you and anyone like you that you're an exile and always will be.
Yeah.
Just go away and ...
Here's my advice to people that are dealing with guys like me that they disagree with. Ignore them. You hate Trump? Stop giving him your time. Kerry Porter, Vicky Fagan.
Well, what harm are you causing? You're not really causing any harm.
Words are dangerous,
they've
apparently
been boosting you by.
Oh yeah, my biggest
absolutely.
promoter. Do you think this video would have 1,000 views on it? 1,152 views without Carrie Porter? You're making me money, Carrie.
Right.
You're actually my best promoter. How many people do you think are going to watch my show on Thursday night when I put the title in Carrie Porter and Laura Yip try and cancel Jim Fannon? Here's my response. 2 hours. What are we at now? 1:44. So anyway.
Okay.
I don't
So we're coming up.
Well, I mean,
tooth
people that watch
on the-
my
on
stuff
the episode?
they know that, and I kind of told the story of my history at the station and stuff like that, and Tom McConnell, and, now, where's this twinning guy? I'm sure she
Right.
retweeted it. No, Carrie, who retweeted it?
Go to my feed, bro. You know how I am. Check your message. Is that from me? Because I sent you that's the Fagan clip, I think. Yeah, just go to my feed. You'll see. Yes. You're the top.
Fannon
Yeah.
should be arrested. You know
Like,
what? Hey,
what?
if I played their game, I would have the NRP knocking on Laura's door in about a half an hour. Because right now at midnight, 12:30, I feel unsafe because Vicky Fagan said I should be arrested, and you incited a mob to come for me.
That's right.
Again. So I got all my doors and windows locked, but I'm going to call the cops and make sure they come to your place and wake your kids up at 2:00 in the morning. See how you fucking like it.
Well,
I don't play that game.
Yeah. I mean, when they say you should be arrested, they know that you shouldn't be arrested. What they're saying is, well, it creates this psychological imperative that, well, since he can't be arrested, we have to use extra legal means. And that's what the Shame Brigade is.
Mm-hmm.
The Shame Brigade is for extra legal, not police, not justice, not the courts, but the mob. So, yeah.
Yeah. So that's where it all comes from. And then here you are. Oh, twinning. Jim,
You like my response here? This is a quality response, Jim. Listen to this. Have you seen this? You haven't seen this yet, have you?
What? Oh, twinning.
I call them the cool kids.
Oh,
All the cool kids scoring points by dunking on the outcasts.
Mm-hmm.
They're the only ones who get to sit at the lunch table.
Yeah.
You have to sit on the floor in the dirt. They're the ones who are in control of the cafeteria. And they're the cool kids. Carrie Porter, Laura Ebb, the St. Catherine's Cabal, and, the arm twisters who use psychological manipulation, social justice, head games, cry bullies, who arm twist everyone. So I want to refute something that they say. They say that Laura Ebb and other politicians, that male politicians take the same position as Laura Ebb. No, the original tweet, the one about Jordan Peterson, is the kind of tweet that only a radical feminist could say. A person who fully embodies and identifies a certain identity of womanhood. So it's not like a man could have offended or made that offensive statement in the first place. So there is an aspect of it that has to do with her being a woman, but it's her choice to have done that. It's not like she was singled out. She was not singled out absurdly or without reason.
You know what I'm tired of is this idea that I'm threatened by powerful women. I love powerful women. I met Debbie Zimmerman probably 20 years ago when she was the chair of the region, not because, not for any other reason other than she is to me back then, she was a star. She was a strong woman with a good handshake, good looking, articulate, tall, cuts a great image, and she made time to meet with me in her office as the chair of the region. I was still political. I can't remember why I felt it was important to meet her, but I wanted to meet her, and I did, and I was not disappointed. And I'm still, I still feel that way about powerful women. I love them. I want to create more of them. I want them to be more effective. I just don't want them to be talking about my body, my choice up until 9 months. That's when I get a little pissy. And then Debbie Zimmerman,
Well,
in my opinion,
it's not power that concerns you. It's how you use the power. It's intention. I have no concern over power if it's a man or a woman or a white or a black or anyone.
Yeah.
It's what are you doing with that power? And here's a powerful woman saying you should be arrested, trying to deplatform you. Have that screenshot? Did you show the screenshot of Laura Ip literally calling for Douglas to be deplatformed?
No, I took that to mean that she was talking about me. Complain, report, and deplatform.
Well,
okay.
No, she was. The context is that she
telling
received
everyone
a message
to report on Douglas
and exposed it, and then wants to deplatform the guy after misconstruing what he said. We are watching. Oh, let's call the police over that, right? So
it's about men who are such cowards that they hide behind anonymity. I've never had an
it's not the power; it's the choices of what's being done with the power.
Mm-hmm.
And so to hide behind gender does a disservice to all women. It's a huge disservice to feminism to go and abuse power and then hide behind your gender. Sorry, ladies. That's the issue.
Look at this guy. He's going on and on. It's about men who choose to say nothing.
Oh, gosh.
It's about men living in a community where these attitudes towards women are allowed. Well, we're not allowed to have a political difference of opinion with a woman because she's a woman? Stop it, man. This gives women a bad name in politics because if you're going to be this sensitive, and this thin-skinned that you can't take a little political disagreement. I never called her any names. I said she was a radical left feminist. She adores that title, Right. And then she
used all her titles.
Yeah.
Milady.
It's
Milady.
about young men feeling like
name.
they should have some sort of macho
Milady.
ideal to live up to and mirroring what they see around them. Men like this are afraid of Laura. No. We're afraid of Laura's ideas. We're not afraid of Laura. In fact, I want Laura to be an effective counselor, even if I don't believe with what she's bringing to the table as far as an agenda. I don't want to shut her up. She keeps, they just want to shut me up. When have I ever told her not to stop talking? Never. It's ridiculous.
Well, no, people do message her and say, shut up.
Yeah.
And so she takes that literally to mean stop talking, not what you're saying is incorrect and it offends.
Fuck. These guys, Twitter twinning. This guy's got a lot of time. 11 posts.
He subtweeted the heck out of this issue.
Oh yeah,
and I screenshotted it and included it in my archives.
When Robert
I have
George
a thread that archives this very nicely.
When Robert George comes to your defense, you got a good crowd there.
These good comments.
Obnoxiously
I don't think
rude and
this is playing into their hands.
Maybe.
I don't think that they're winning this one. I think that Carrie Porter didn't get the feedback that she was expecting from her video. Instead, she got called out by me and you. The fact that she's just it's not really going to go anywhere for them. It's going to boost you. And maybe it's this thing that leftists always create their own opponents.
I'm not a big fan of Robert
They don't have an
George's.
identity of their own, so they thrive off of milking their opponent's identity.
Yeah,
they steal your identity in order to have one.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a huge fan
fan
of...
They have no moral position, so they have to fake that they have a moral position by taking superiority over someone who does have a moral position.
Shut up a minute. I'm not a big fan of Robert George's. I met with him for beers one time at the Mansion House because I'll get with anyone, even if Rob Gill called me or Andy Gill or somebody said, hey, Jimmy, fuck it, let's bury the hatchet. I want to meet you. Let's flesh this out because nothing gets solved on Twitter. I did have beers with Robert George at one point, and he's critical of everyone all the way around, depending on what his opinion is. He's a conservative. But here he's like, I don't condone anyone threatening anyone. I didn't threaten anyone. But as you love her, others think she's obnoxiously rude and disrespectful victim cry. I see. She has some very good, strong points, and spelling could definitely be a huge asset to Niagara, yet she chooses to be nasty. This is true.
Nasty woman.
Can't say that. When everywhere you go and end up having problems with
nasty.
people, one must...
But he makes a great point, eh?
Yeah, and one must eventually realize that you are the problem. You are the common denominator, as I would say. Laura's had issues, has had issues everywhere. So I guess she is the problem. Fuck. These guys, I'm sorry. This is... my life, I guess, because I put myself in this position, and I'm the first guy to take responsibility for where I am in my life. I'm not going to stand down on this one. No way. So that is that, brother.
Hey.
I'm feeling it just like you are. I appreciate your support and your comments on it. And I don't know where this leads. I kind of felt like after the first go around that I had given Laura Yip the greatest gift ever by unifying her base. Because for 45 days, I got nothing but hate mail, even from guys that claim to be her father. I had a woman come to my Jim Fannon Show page and engage me, and I said, what, you never called anyone a bad name before? Like, seriously? We're having this conversation? You know what she says to me? In print, you came out of a cunt. That was actually, how can you not laugh at that? That's fucking funny. You know, my mother's no longer here, okay? That stings a little bit, but that has got nothing to do with my mom. That's funny. Like, that's straight up balls funny. And so, Laura, your fans, your mob has come for me many times, and I'm still here.
Oh, that's the spirit. Like to hear that.
So I cannot be canceled further. What, DoorDash is going to refuse to take my call now? What, PayPal is going to cancel me? I shouldn't say this on YouTube. That's
oh no, you're asking.
But this is a cancel culture. You can't get an Uber.
Yeah.
You can't use PayPal. You can't get Skip the Dishes. You're banned from everything. And that's what these people
which
want.
is why this defamation is actually really, really unacceptable. To continue to defame you like this, you know, that can't be tolerated. We can't live in a world where they do that. So I don't know what to do about it except to just call it out. I actually think, as like I was saying, I think that they're falling on their own sword on this, and just the slightest push, and they fail on their own. Like the Flesh was sidelined, and I think that they're politically sidelining themselves by being such like dramatic. They're not going to go anywhere with that. I think it's going to fall apart on them. That's my view.
Oh, Greg Miller too, one of my favorite gingers on council. He's getting in on the action.
Yeah,
it doesn't get any more left than these guys. By scary stuff, kids.
Well, they're not offering you a path of redemption, and then the leftists never do. They have a witch. They put them on the pyre and they burn.
Yeah,
that's it. It's
for a girl that was claiming to be above this and have a superior morality, she is retweeting every single trashy post that tags her and totally carves on me. Here's Mike Saunders. I worked with Mike Saunders at 610 CKTB before one of the Bell rounds. He was fired. I stayed on because I wasn't an employee. I was a contractor. I like Mike Saunders. We had a good relationship. But look at Mike Saunders now. My own lawyer, Robbie Welsh, calling me a has-been and a spent bullet. Robbie, you're a lawyer. You're a family friend of mine for 50 years. I know you got a little bit of short man syndrome with the 4'5" thing. It's fine. It's fine. But spent bullet? Dude. I'm a semi-automatic over here, bro, and I have no shortage of ammunition. I know you don't want to fight the guys. You don't want to fight the guys that have an ink well full, over at the Standard. But here I am, Mike. Anyway, so Mike thinks I'm a racist pig now. David Hall, here's another one. Phelan Shaw. For a girl that this is victim culture. Christine Hales. I like Christine Hales, but I guess I'm out of her books now. Barbara Butters. What a useless fucking piece of counselor sheets turned out to be. Look at this. Every single post gets retweeted. That's not the high road. Laura Yip.
That's just, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah. I have had 4 days. Today I got sidelined with the most incredible migraine. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't unbelievable.
Right.
I kicked it now. I'm medicated. What did it take? It took 400 ibuprofens, 2 naproxens. I never tried those before. Then I was so amped, I didn't know which way to turn. I got a half a perk into me and a half a V10, and I feel okay now. I got some coffee. I went out for a midnight coffee run.
Wow. Yeah.
But here we are, brother.
I get intense migraines too after processing a lot of data.
Well, I think it's the adrenaline. Like for 4 days.
Stuff. I read everything these people say.
Yeah, for 4 days.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I actually spend more time doing this than I should in my life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have a baby, I have a business that I should be focused on, but instead, you know, this is social disruption. And so just like on Sunday, Laura's saying that her day was disrupted because she couldn't just sit there baking pies with her kids as she wanted to do. Instead, she got trolled on the internet. The rest of us got trolled on the internet too with her, and she dragged us into the storyline. She dragged us into this, like, you know, I couldn't just sit it out. You definitely can't sit it out. Anyone who comes on your show can't sit it out, really. Anyone who wants to build an alternative platform can't sit it out. You know, we have to say something to set the record straight. There's no path to redemption for people who they exile, and that's a big red flag, because what they should just be like, well, you made a mistake with what he said, but if you're going to talk to him, talk to him. It's just words. They're just words. What's the big deal? What's the big deal? It's just words. You're just talking on your own platform about stuff you think is interesting. And people if they choose to listen, then that's democracy. So what's going on here? Why are these people such authoritarian, anti-democracy people who choose to exile? And first they came for Jim Fannon, and I wasn't Jim Fannon, so I didn't say anything. You know, they're knocking off their list. Oosterhoff, Wilsma, you platforming them makes you on their list. You don't have a platform, suddenly they stop talking about you. It's not about you, it's about your platform and what you stand for, opposition.
So you say this may turn out to backfire on them. I originally thought that after my 45 days of hate, and I don't care who you are, people think I'm untouchable.
No, after I just saw all those retweets, I'm like, oh God. Mm-hmm. Those are dozens and dozens of people who've just internalized the narrative that you're the monster, she's the victim.
But like I said before,
that goes on
after the last 45 days of the cancel culture coming my way, I don't care who you are. Like, people think I'm untouchable and that I don't give a shit. I'm deeply sensitive, and it all bothers me. Like, nobody wants to read that stuff about themselves. I thought I'd be better equipped for it this time. I think I am, because, well, here I am talking about it. I'm certainly, I haven't ever tried to hide anything. So I felt like I had given her exactly what she wanted, giving her the victim culture to go, oh, I don't know if I want to run again because this is so difficult. My children, I fear for their safety, and I can't be part of it. You think that she's going to cancel her political career now? No. So, and hearing you say, I think this is
foundational.
This is going to backfire on them. Before I was saying, you know what? It's not worth it because I gave her exactly what she wanted. But now, I'm not so sure that a lot of people aren't going to say, you can't hear that on the radio and go, what? Somebody sent you a message and said, we're watching you, and had pictures of 5 kids holding signs. And where is that? Here it is right here, I think. No. Robin,
you got my screenshot? You go to my thread. You go to my thread, I got a close-up on it.
Okay.
I'm the thread master, bro. I'm the thread master. It's social media journalism. I document. You can access it easily. So you're looking for...
Well, I lost my train of thought now. It's getting late. What was I looking for?
Oh, you're looking for the... My goodness, there's a lot of stuff here.
Oh,
the screenshots.
Oh, yeah.
Explaining what happened.
No, I want to see.
So it starts on the Jim Fannon retweet. It starts on the retweet of your.
Douglas's.
Starts on the retweet. There it is. Okay. So don't click on the retweet. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, you got the thread.
Okay, here's the message. Okay, so I'm gonna try.
That's right. And right next to that image is a close-up.
I can't make this any bigger. I don't think.
Yeah, I opened the. You can. Well, maybe not in that.
Okay, so here's Douglas comes in and whatever. I'm not responsible for Douglas. Okay. You have a mouth.
You don't really condone this kind of behavior. By the way, messaging people just randomly, being like, "Oh, you shouldn't," like, it's not very productive.
I'm not into the mob culture. So at the end of one of his messages, he said, "You should be ashamed. What is that message teaching young males in our community?" Hi, Douglas. This is a standard reply. Looks like an auto reply. Thank you for your message. I'll get back to you, blah, blah, blah. And then he comes back with, "You have a mouth on you that is not fit for counsel." Then he shows the picture of the kid holding up the sign, "We are watching you." And then underneath it says, "We are watching." Oh, not you. We are watching. Okay? So follow the thread here. You should be ashamed of yourself. What is this teaching young men in our community? You have a mouth on you.
There you go.
Oh, here's the kids. We're watching. The kids are watching you. That's what I take from this. You're not fit. Our kids are watching you, and you're not a good example for them. That's not, I'm sitting out front of your house waiting for you to come out so I can beat you up. That's,
But no
what kind of
wonder she
message
was
is that sending our kids? Oh, by the way, the kids are watching.
Yeah, no wonder she was offended, and no wonder she reframed the argument to have nothing to do with what he originally said. And instead, it's her version. She's now, instead of the victimizer, the victim.
Shifting the goalposts, my brother.
Look at the close-up on that.
What's
on
that?
We are watching of those kids.
Oh, isn't that the cutest picture? Look at this little guy. I screenshotted this guy and blew him up because, like, this kid, I love this child. Right? Oh, you can't see me. The guy right front. This kid, his face. Oh my. Oh, how can I wish I could. Oh, let me see. I'm going to do
Adorable.
I'm going to do it this way. Adorable. Speaking of kids, man, I really am looking forward to seeing you and the wife and kid again soon, man. That kid,
likewise.
That kid had a really profound impact on me in a really vulnerable time in my life and taught me a good lesson.
Excellent.
And you did too, because you're the guy that said, you know what? This kid is not going to see a facial expression for another year until he's after a year old. Look at this kid.
Which is next month.
Look at this little man.
I know. I guess I put him in some protest theater myself. He was in a stroller on the front page of the Standard, being an anti-masker with me. So there you go. That's right.
Well, for anyone that questions, why do you do this? Why do you put up with this stuff? Right here, kids. See this young child right here? See this gorgeous human being, this perfect, unadulterated, innocent child? This is why I do what I do.
I feel you.
Because I love
the problem
these kids.
with ever saying that is everyone says the same thing about that. The climate change people call their groups for the children.
Yeah.
Everyone says for the children. It's like,
Way to bust my bubble.
the point for Douglas's context is he wasn't at all saying he's going to watch from his car and then stalk her and attack her. Because if you see in her thread, she took that comment and she said, quote, "There's a violence in we are watching." A violence?
And
a violence? This is
shaking.
this picture of some kids with white paint, by the way, and a peace sign and a happy face. Oh, and it's an interracial group too. That's great. So it's a diverse group of children. And
it clicks all the boxes of intersectionality.
Right. And so for some reason, though, she launched into here's what concerns me, here's what reveals the illogic of her position. It's if you're actually vulnerable, there's no tactical advantage in going on the radio and saying, "There's nothing I can do if they come." Mm-hmm. Like, why would you saying, I don't lock my doors.
No.
Here's my address.
Here's when I'm at work if you want to rob my house.
Right. No, you don't go around saying, I'm so vulnerable. Like, excuse me, damsel in distress to the max. Like, somebody save me, please, because they could just, at any time.
Amen.
What? So I just think that reveals the illogic of her position, because if she was really vulnerable, why would either she wouldn't say it, or maybe she is vulnerable, and it's irrational to say that out loud to the radio audience. Like, imagine she has like 15 crazy motherfuckers who've never said or done anything are just actually watching her. Let's just imagine in her world, right? A whole cadre of them. But why is she telling them that there's nothing that she can do once they come to her? It's crazy.
I will not wear it.
Why would you send that message to your enemy? Well, I am weak. Please attack. I am weak. No, who sends that message to their enemies?
Can you see this? I will not wear it on my face. I will not wear it any place. I will not wear it to get in. I will not wear it on my chin. I will not wear it on my ear. I will not wear it out of fear. I will not wear your stupid mask. I will not wear it. So do not ask.
That's right. I trust Dr. Seuss more than Dr. Fauci.
Unbelievable. All right. Oh, Grant LaFleche is telling us that the third wave is already here. Wow. Yeah. Doctor.
You'll notice that he has been sidelined because otherwise he would have been running this story. Like, he didn't get the bylines.
You know what?
It's a Bill Sawchuk story.
Here's the other thing that...
He's off the beat. He's not doing the social stories anymore.
And I'm hesitant to go here. But since the gloves are off now, how can Grant LaFleche continue to report on Laura Yip when they've had an intimate physical relationship?
I don't think they do. I think they got called out and that he can't, and he's off the beat. He does COVID updates.
Who told you he's not doing that anymore?
The byline? It was a Bill Sawchuk story.
Oh, no, I mean...
Two or three stories.
Oh,
the
I see what you mean.
Story.
No, but...
You didn't get the Oosterhoff story either.
But
that was Sean Vanderklis, right?
She gets some really great press. Why? Because they had a relationship, or I don't know if they're still having it.
That's not the only reason why. That's also the editorial prerogative after the last council. She's the reset the region foot in the door. The last council stole their laptop, and remember that whole charade?
No.
Right? They locked the guy out, and they took the guy's laptop.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There was an ombuds report, and so from the editorial position, like they want to have an inside scoop no matter what. So. And plus, they're all leftist activists. They're engaging in social engineering using whatever institutions available, exiling anyone who opposes it.
Here's my lawyer. Robbie, you gotta love a man with SMS.
Is this brand new? This is as a result of this is the new.
This is the first time it went around. Once in a while, I'll go check.
Are you gonna have to go head to head with her? Is she gonna run for the same seat?
Well, not unless I really like it. It's gonna take.
You'd be up against Biddle. It's a Biddle thing.
Well,
sticking around.
I may be in the federal election, but it's not worth my time to go after and try and unseat Laura Yip because, well, she's the boss now, dude. I know my place.
Yeah. Well, I mean. No, I mean that's fine. It's actually quite stunning to see how much activity the narrative that they promote gets. Mm-hmm. It's stunning to be this outcast, and both ideologically and socially, and to look in on it and be like, wow, it's like watching people react to triggers. It's not. These are sort of like phantoms. They respond to the topic. They don't care about the content. The content's never important.
It's
all about positioning themselves socially and virtue signals.
I'm not a big Dr. Teresa Tam fan. But why are you so small, Justin? You tiny, like this big.
That's pretty funny. I like that one.
I got to get better at my impressions, foreign accents. I'm working on it.
She's got that like internationalist accent.
Mm-hmm. Very upscale. All right, brother. I'm going to get you out of here. I'm going to cut this and.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks for bringing me on late night.
I think that's about all the attention I need to give to this saga.
Oh yeah,
this
right.
Drama.
Yeah, right.
This.
We'll see.
What are you in grade 12 or?
There you go. When they go low, you go high.
What are you, 5? Meet me at the bike rack. Let's do this. All right. Peace, love.
Good night and good luck.
Hug your neighbor and take that filthy, dirty diaper off your face because it doesn't work anyways. You're probably asymptomatic. Get over yourself. I'm out.